You're listening to Rodney Rogers Outdoors Radio, where we turn it upside down and look at the outside from the inside out. It's safe, it's legal, and we're having a blast. So put your shoes on, my friend, because we're going outdoors.
Woo, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. I am Rodney Rogers, partner Coach Easton Crime.
Did you get your pants on?
I got them on, dog. We are dressed from the waist up. We are in business. Holy moly, that was close, Mike.
Woo!
Woo! For those of you that are watching, ain't watching, I just walked in the door. What a day.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Por favor, manténgase alejadas de las botas.
Woo, well, we're going to be here for the next hour talking about the outdoors. That's kind of what we do. We've had an exciting weekend. I know I did. I'm sure you did. Man, I think I posted a lot of stuff.
You did?
I did post a lot of stuff. We had some really cool stuff. A lot of, well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Let me just get settled in here.
Take a breath, Rodney. Put the plane on autopilot for a minute and just...
Let's fire up some electronics here, punch in some codes.
See, the worst part of that is you don't even have a cup of coffee in your hands.
I know, man.
The cups are still in the...
They're just ready. Maybe commercial break.
We're going to dart out of here in commercial break and
just
fill our
be
coffee
like
cups.
bees. So why I was late is my company does we have to be certified in safety or first aid. So we have to, the general stuff that, everybody has had something happen to them at one time. The old CPR has changed a lot since.
Did you get a prize?
I did.
For having the most things happen to you?
No, there was actually some guy beat me. And I told him, I looked at him and said, you're not making it out of here tonight. There's no way.
I want you all to know we're here tonight because of Rodney exclusively.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen to him. So we had a CPR class, which, you know what, honestly, Mike, and you and I did a show on first aid. We kind of touched on the bases, and I know we talked about it, and I would love to do it. An outdoor safety, with a certified person. We haven't done the research, and it's just something.
Sure, no, that
I think it'd be. I wonder if we can get people to sign up for something like that. I mean,
that would be very interesting to do with an outdoors.
Yeah, with the outdoors thing, because here's being in the outdoors for all that, and I've had some. Boy, that's first aid.
I can't take you anywhere.
Haven't been in the outdoors and had stuff to happen. The general things that you have happen are your cuts and your broken bones and your stuff like that. And I've talked to guys that have hunted across the world and had their guides come close to heart attacks while they were. So, I mean, I think these are probably some things that you need to.
Sure.
I know at one point, I think I failed this particular point, but she says, Africanized bees, they're just very hyper. There's a word for it. It was like a hyper. They were always mad, extremely angry. As soon as an Africanized bee, typically a killer bee, when they come right at you, right off the hive, they come right at you. Just as soon as you walk into them, they're angry bees, and they stay angry for 24 hours, and that's when it hit me. My first wife was an Africanized bee. I had no idea, Mike. How did that happen? Whew, stranger things.
Wow.
Happen. So, yeah, I mean, we kind of got it. So I learned a lot. I mean, I've done many, many, many first CPR and first aid classes, but it's been about 20 years or 15, 18 years since I've done it, and a lot has changed. I mean, CPR is literally done 180 to what we believed.
No, that's true.
Way back when. And years ago, tourniquets were a bad thing, and now every time a war comes along, when you got Vietnam, you got World War II, you got civil, all these wars, we learn a lot about first aid, especially, broken bones and abrasions and cuts and missing limbs. We learn a lot from the military of the things that they have to do in order to get this person.
Sure.
Because it's the extreme. So, every time a war comes along, we learn some really important information. That's right after shoot, Mike. I should get a prize for that. I mean, Yeah, I should totally get a prize for just coming right at sitting and just having stupid stuff right on the top of my
Did you
head.
break any land speed records?
I didn't get a ticket.
Good.
So
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
One. That's awesome. So how was your weekend, Mike? I pretty much know how your weekend
Yeah, we hung out a
was.
little bit on Saturday.
We
It
got
was
to
very
hang out
nice.
Saturday. Mike did his art show.
Yeah, we were up in Mount Dora, the lovely Mount Dora.
was
Weather
gorgeous.
was perfect.
What a day.
Cooling off a little bit.
Starting to cool
Yeah.
off. This weekend's actually going to be a little chilly.
Yeah, we're going to be in Miami. One of the days is
Oh,
high
really?
of 60 or something like that, or
Wow.
mid 60s or something.
How you like that? It's like
Caught
as
yourself.
soon as I go to the
Pleasing
table,
yourself,
I'm like,
yeah.
wow.
That's because I put electric shock treatment.
It looked
inside
like
there.
it, didn't
Yeah,
it? As soon as
yeah.
I touched it, it was like, bzz.
It's working.
So
So
you'll be in South Florida this weekend.
So yeah, Miami,
Nice.
Coconut Grove for Valentine's Day.
Where
It
is
was nice.
Coconut Grove?
South Miami, I think. Yeah,
Is it? Okay.
it's right on the thing over there by that thing.
Right there by the Everglades, but small.
It's south of Miami. You actually go. You pass Miami, go in. It turns into a 2-lane road. 95 turns into a 2-lane road, and it's right off there to the left-hand side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just about 20 miles before you get the Keys.
Yeah.
The first key.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I now know where you're at. There's a real nice state park down there. It's actually on the coast, on the east side. Real nice state park. I'll get you the name of that. I know you won't have time, but
No, but I bet I know where you're talking about.
Yeah?
There you go.
think so. Right there.
Bet I do. Betcha I do, Rodney.
Yeah, I do. So we got to hang out Saturday. That was awesome. We got to eat. We ate dinner. We had a grand old time. And then Sunday, I got to one of my buddies called me and he says, "Man, we're gonna go catch some crab traps, or catch some crab traps. You buy those. You don't catch them. We're gonna go check some crab traps." He had 4 crab traps set. I keep calling them quad twaps.
That's going to be a tongue twister before you know it.
It is. The video I posted, I said, we're going to go get the quad twap.
So,
Let's set the quad twap. So, sure enough, we get there. It was early in the morning. It was, or not too early, but it was real nice, beautiful day. So here we go. We're out. We get on the, one of my buddies, he has a 40-foot lures. And we were actually getting on the boat we actually checked the traps on was a like a 24-foot like a bay skiff kind of boat. So we got on that boat, and that's what we went to check the crab traps. So we got to idle through the canals. I mean, it's really beautiful where we were. And I promised him I would not give away that particular secret location. But I can identify what we were catching in kind of the broad.
where did you depart from?
We departed from my house.
I mean, I'm going to need you to be a little more specific.
We actually departed out on the East Coast. We were actually on the East Coast. We were in the Indian River. Okay, there you go.
Well, you're staying general.
I
aren't you?
was trying not to give away
East
location.
Coast of the United States.
United States. So we're actually in the Indian River. So the Indian River stretches from New Smyrna, it turns into Banana River, and it goes down all the way to Sebastian Inlet. So you can catch stone crabs down that whole river. I mean,
So let me ask you this.
yes,
Do you need to get that?
no, I don't. I don't think I do. It looks important, but I
It
don't.
totally looks important.
All right, you talk for a second.
I saw President of the United States
No,
or
that's-
something on there. I was like,
That's the kid's grandmother.
everything all right?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not going to answer.
I can kill your microphone and I can tell a few jokes.
I dare you. So we were actually chasing stone crabs. Now, when he told me there were stone crabs on that side of the coast, I pretty much told him, "You're crazy, man. I don't know if you know what you're talking about." So he actually caught stone crabs the past couple of weeks, and they done real well. One week they kind of skunked out. And they're just getting their traps adjusted and locations. So sure enough, I went over with him and got to hang out with him. And I tell you what, man, 4 traps we caught. A limit and a half, or a limit being 1.5 gallons of stone crab legs.
That's interesting
Claws.
that the limit is a
Gallon.
a quantity like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
And man, I tell you what, dude,
that's just the claws, or is
that's
that with
just the claws. I mean, you're allowed to you're allowed to used to, you could only take one claw. So they could have a claw for defense.
Yeah, I saw you breaking off both of them.
But yeah, now I kind of said, dude, you sure about this? Because there was a game warden literally watching us.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you don't want to do.
Sure, yeah.
Is the wrong thing in front of a game warden. So, he assured me. And the last time I looked up the rules, it was definitely one claw. But nope, it is in fact 2 claws.
And I saw a picture of you holding it up.
Yep.
And then somebody was coming in with the measuring device.
Yes, that was Jason's girlfriend, Stephanie. And she came in with the measuring device. So on the inside of the claw actually, let's pretend this is a pincher. So you got to come from the tip of the smallest claw to the inside of the smallest point. So you're basically going in the inside of the claw. And if that part is 2 3/4 inches, then you have a legal claw. And 2 3/4 inches of a stone crab claw is a pretty big claw. But I'll tell you what we did. If it was that close, if it was visibly, we just, we measured it and said that's a good claw. If it was measurably close, we left the claws on them and tossed them back in. Which I thought, was just pretty. I just kind of wanted to do it. I kind of did a few without them looking. So if we didn't get to eat all of them, we should have.
So how did it taste? I mean, your reaction was phenomenal.
It is absolutely.
Was that just putting it on for the camera?
No. It's the most. Are you ready for this word? Succulent.
Okay.
Crab meat I've ever had in my life from any crab ever. And there's meat. There's like 2 or 3 chunks of meat. All of it. You can see that. Look at the size of that claw. And then see that next knuckle there?
Yeah.
Well, there's one after that. There's 3 total. There's the claw, then the 2 knuckles. And they're all full of meat.
It looks like something out of a cartoon.
It does.
The color is beautiful on it.
When I had that crab with both hands, he was pulling me in.
Really?
I mean, it was that strong. These things will crush an oyster open. That's hard to do with a hammer. With a small enough oyster, they'll crush them. So you don't want to get your fingers up in that thing. It's pretty much all business. So yeah, we got a total of 18 claws, and we released several crabs that didn't have claws that were in good shape. Some smaller ones. We released some crabs with smaller claws. So and then we shot back. We did some fishing. I don't know the video I posted of us up there. We actually did a little bit of fishing. He took us to a spot where some guys were catching some giant sheephead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was just us 3 guys up there on the front of the boat, and we were just kind of flipping around the pylons. You know what? We don't get that option of being guided very often.
Yeah, it's true. You took advantage of it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's usually Paul and I, or even Jason. Jason, in this case, Jason was the guide for us, and then. And when we go out on a big boat, it's Paul. And then when we do all the inshore stuff, it's usually me. So you got the 3 guides actually being guided by a good friend, Jason's good friend, Steve. So we had a really good time, man. It's been a long time since I had that much awesome time. And I can tell you this for sure. That is the first time that I've ever been involved with crab traps.
Really?
Yeah, really is. And I'm really excited. Excited enough that I ordered 10 of them.
Awesome. They'll be here tomorrow?
Next week.
Good. How much does a crab? Because I did crab tops. How much do they cost? I mean, they're
about $30.
Is it everything from the ball to the cage? Is it the whole?
Yeah, it depends on where you get it. I'm actually going to do some. What's that guy's name? Jason is going to order me 5, but it's going to take him a long time to get here. So I'm going to go to Black Dog Bait and Tackle. Our friend Chris down there. He has tons of crab traps down there. So I'm going to see if he's got 5 that I can pick up from him. And then these here. So we'll get into the regulations. That's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. Good. We're going to talk about some regulations and a little bit of this and that. Basically the over around kind of the way to get into this and have a lot of fun. Doesn't matter if you have a boat or not.
Cool.
That's the cool thing about it.
Okay, yeah, because I guess I got some questions, but I can save it for that.
Yeah,
so I'm going to be talking about that. What's in the news? You know what I heard is in the news?
Tell me what's in the news, Mike.
I'm pretty sure this is totally outdoor related.
Okay, which we can handle.
This is breaking news, though.
Oh, really?
What's the newscaster's name?
Oh, Brian Williams.
He just got suspended for 6 months with no pay.
Really?
Teach you to lie.
Wow. Man, don't suspend me, Mike. If I
Yeah,
lie.
nothing.
If I tell a story
Nothing.
up in here.
You got some creative liberties.
You know
allowed.
what?
You're not a journalist.
I honestly, I would have never thought that from Brian Williams. I don't think anybody would have. I know we're not on the outdoors, but that's some pretty intense stuff right
just
there.
Popped up on my phone just before we got started.
Really?
Here, yeah.
But I kind of saw that coming. I think everybody's a little upset, and there's people out there trying to protect him, and the lies that he was just telling was just blatant, just ridiculous.
He wanted to enhance and embellish the story.
How crazy is that?
We make a living at doing that, but he's not in that.
Yeah, he's in a whole different. He's in the. You know what? He was the. Are you ready for? He's the 28th most trusted person. In the United States
from a network that you can't have.
Yeah,
that's a.
And when this went down, guess what he went to?
What?
832nd.
Well, I would assume
we were more trusted.
I would assume they'd stop counting like after 100.
Right. I'm thinking.
I didn't know it goes.
Honestly,
that
I'm thinking top 10 is the most important.
Yeah, after that.
But he's 28th. I don't even know. I'm just dying to know who's more. You know who. So yeah, that's. So then he went down to 830 seconds. I think you and I are like 745.
I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that.
We're ahead of him, right? That's only because we're not caught with our stuff yet. But who knows, you know? So yeah, we'll pull up some regulation. That's what we'll talk about tonight, Mike. How's that sound?
I like it. Let's talk about some crab.
I'm totally about it. So I'm still trying to get my bearings here. This is so awesome.
That's a trip, right?
But there's something else I was going to talk about before we did. We were talking about the safety thing. Let me just touch on this real quick. One of the biggest things about the safety that I just kind of wanted to hit tonight is if you're listening and you do, if you're a wife, you have a husband and children that go out, do yourself a favor, do some research. There are some companies out there that will do outdoor, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily outdoors, but the hunting and fishing safety aspects. Sure. There are several companies that'll teach you, because what I was going to say earlier is you don't have the resources in the woods if you're not prepared for it as you do on a job site. Or
in hunter safety courses, do they teach anything like that, or is it not really? It's not first aid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think they should, and they may have, because I went through my safety course probably 25 years ago, because I had to have it for the state of Georgia, not for the state of Florida, because I'm exempt. I had to have it for the state of Georgia and any other state in the United States. You know, when I go to Colorado, I have to show them my hunter safety class because I'm not exempt there. It goes back even farther. So I just think that ought to be, nowadays they may teach you some of the basics, but I think everybody who is in the outdoors, be you fishing or hunting or whatever the case may be, or camping is very important, is to know those extremely important situations. Dehydration is one of them that happens a lot when you're camping, especially hunting. More grown men die during hunting season from heart attacks every year than any other time of the year, because they haven't, they exert themselves way beyond than they did the rest of the year. So, they get out there, they shoot a 300-pound animal, and they try to drag this thing back.
Well, and you're also probably out for the day, not logically toting around gallons of water.
Exactly. Or you got a bottle of water thinking you're hydrating yourself enough. And that's not the case. So one of the things I would recommend, on a serious note tonight, is get yourself in some kind of first aid class, especially for the outdoors. And like I said, I'm not promising. This is just a thought out of my head. I'd like to, in my mind, do some research and find out who does that, and maybe see if we can put maybe a 4 or 5 person class, 8 person class together, and share the cost.
Get a class. We could videotape it and put it online and share it with even more than was able to attend the class.
Yeah, that's just a thought in the back of my head. Okay. So I'm springing it on you as I'm thinking about
that'd be neat to do. And break it down into a logical, top 5 things you need to know. And
because they're going to teach you the simple things, how to get a hook out. Because although we can see that on YouTube, there are bigger hooks.
Well, the other thing I think, exactly. And being prepared for what are the basic things? We've talked about survival things, but what would be if you open up go buy a first aid kit, half of the stuff you're not really sure how you would apply it or use it.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have somebody walk you through and go, here's the things you really want to make sure is in your first aid kit.
Absolutely. Why is this in here?
Yeah. What do I do with this thing?
Exactly right. Exactly right. So I just think I'm going to shoot some info up on. I'm going to do it in the next couple of days. I promise I'll have something up just for my own peace of mind.
It'd be great.
By Wednesday, or I don't even know.
I bet if you, today is Tuesday, by the way. Yeah. I bet if you found the right person to help us with that or organization, they could even direct us or guide us, give us some links to here's a good kit.
Oh yeah.
Out of the box, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Because they range from, sets of Band-Aids to taking care of an army,
Exactly.
But here's one for, I don't even
An
know,
all
$25 that I'll put in the back of your car or your backpack as you're hiking.
Absolutely. Because I've put one together myself only by my own experiences that I keep in my truck of stuff that's happened to me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I keep that. I've built it. It wasn't a kit that I bought. It's just something I built. So maybe if we can't find that perfect kit, maybe I'll just put together what I have and explain what I do and how I've many times had to use it and the reason I do. So maybe, if nothing else, if we can't find anybody, maybe we'll do that. Do a little podcast on what I would do. I'm sure there's
official people that would love to guide us through that process.
We don't need official people. We're pretty official. We don't need anybody clouding our
CPR
our judgments.
Now, did you get certified tonight?
I did. I got certified in CPR, the minor first aid, broken bones, that kind of stuff. It's a 2-year certification that our company puts us through. It's, I got to thank my company because I certainly learned a lot because it's been so long.
Yeah, that's good. They do that though.
I've given people CPR. I've saved people's, lives from drowning. I mean, all that stuff's happened.
Heimlich.
The Heimlich.
I like to just go up and surprise people with the Heimlich. Whether they're choking or not.
Practice.
Yeah.
You look like you were choking.
They'd be like, see that thing just come out of your mouth? They're like, I wasn't eating.
Yeah.
I think, well,
that was your gizzard.
You might want to go find that then because you might need that.
You're probably going to need that. That was my gizzard.
See you tomorrow.
So we learned some cool stuff tonight. I had a blast.
So what I'm wondering with your crab trap.
Yes. Okay. See, I got you.
Yeah, you started.
Twap. Once I got a twap.
Game on. So because is your GPS location turned on your phone?
No, it should have been off for that. What's it saying?
Now you're saying that, but do you know this to be true?
No, I don't.
Because I'm just wondering if I could take these photos.
Could you
put them into the right app and say, "Wow, I know exactly."
I know exactly. I'd be interested.
And you have
to
a
try
feeling I'm probably going to do this too, don't you?
I'm sure you're probably not the only one.
Now that
I mean, just look at the size of that crab. That's amazing.
Yeah, but what are you holding?
That's a stone crab.
Oh, I thought you were.
Oh,
just kidding.
I don't have that. I still don't have that.
It's probably best, Rodney.
Yeah. You think?
No, that was a good time though. I enjoyed your follow-up video of the day too.
Yeah, I kind of put everything together. I wanted to make it short and sweet.
Yeah, but the ultimate was when you guys sun goes down. You guys are cooking. Did you cook them on the boat?
We cooked them right on the boat.
That's
awesome
the moment.
Was
the
that?
day is done. Gone the sun. Give me that crab boy.
Which shouldn't it a song? Give me that crab boy. Give me that crab boy.
Yeah, that makes you want to be there.
Yeah, we were going to watch the rocket launch.
Yeah,
and it was like 5,500 boats.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're like, woo, it's coming up time, and all of a sudden we see boats starting to leave. And we're like, dude, you're going to miss the show. Yeah, we were the only boat there.
Did you get notification? Were you listening to it, obviously, on a radio or a phone? Or you just said
somebody called. Said, hey, they're not sending their ship up.
Come on home, right?
Yeah, come on out of here. Yeah. You're not. It's not going to happen. So we had to leave.
Well, let's talk some crab tonight then. I got a few questions to ask.
Awesome, man. Crab it is.
What we could do is take a break.
Let's do that.
Make a mad dash to the coffee maker.
Yes, sir.
Get re-energized and listen to some commercials.
Let's do it.
In the meantime, here we go.
With 116,000 foreclosures in the state of Florida alone as of January 2014, a quality contractor is critical to the process of returning a foreclosed house back into a home. Let me introduce you to Phillips Contracting Incorporated. They are Florida State certified and an approved REO repair vendor for both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. PCI currently provides multi-level services to realtors, banks, asset managers, and private homeowners. Although they specialize in dealing with REO property repairs, they are a design-build company.
Here at PCI, we pride ourselves on professional, high-quality work. Our clients know that we're not your typical contractor. We're proud to be reliable, trustworthy partners with you. Our repair coordinators are ready to communicate with you honestly and quickly about every aspect of your project. We're here to say yes to our clients.
Phillips Contracting services Florida from Orlando to Miami. Whether you're looking for a quote, repair updates, or just want to talk business, give them a call at 941-483-3800.
Barley, come see why the whole world's singing. No,
What are you doing?
dude, I am writing a song for Gnarly Barley.
I see that, but first of all, I didn't realize you could sing. Second of all, why don't you just tell the people how great the Gnarly Barley is, give them the address, and move on with the show?
Dude, have you ever had their flatbread? Their jalapeno flatbread with the cream cheese on top, and the chicken, and the special sauce on it. Holy moly. No, wait a minute. Obviously, by the look on your face, you ain't never had that big time fiesta. Jalapenos, provolone cheese, tomatoes, red onions, and again, fiesta lime.
Okay, that's it. Shut up, Chubb. We're out of here.
Are you serious?
Come on, we're out of here.
Truly one of Orlando's hidden gems, the Gnarly Barley offers a contemporary selection of bites and brews, serving a mind-blowing selection of craft beers and original mouth-watering menu creations. The Gnarly Barley and its incredibly accommodating staff have created a place that really is difficult to put into words. So do yourself a huge favor and come see why people are singing the praises of the Gnarly Barley.
Oh my goodness.
I told you that big time fiesta.
That is phenomenal. I totally get why you're trying to write a song for that.
Not as simple as you thought, huh?
No. Okay, check this out. Gnarly Barley.
Come see why the whole town's singing
Gnarly Barley.
Located at 7431 South Orange Avenue in Orlando, Florida.
Hey, welcome back. You know what? I'm used to the...
I know.
Sorry about that. Welcome back to Rodney Rogers Outdoors. If you're just tuning in.
Rodney, I've been here since you started the show, and I'm enjoying it. So
I was listening to the show the other night when I said, if you're just tuning in, you said, we just started the show. You said, Rodney, everybody's just tuning in. Sometimes I just go back and listen to some of our favorite shows. It's pretty awesome.
it's good times. This is episode 48, by the way.
40,
and
no.
for those of you,
58. I'm going to just correct you there. Right there.
am I wrong?
Yeah, 48 is a long time ago. We're on 58. Yeah, we're way up there.
Wow, look at that. You are right. Yeah.
What
So if you're just tuning in, it is episode 58.
58.
And if you have tuned in, please know that we are, if you're listening to us talk about crabs,
Let's get you up to speed.
we are live. Unless you're listening to us talk about crabs next Tuesday on our podcast, we are not live.
We're not live.
If you're listening on Tuesday, February 10th, we are live from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means our phone is open if you want to call in and talk about crabs with us. Our number is 262-345-7763. Give us a buzz. We'd love to chat with you.
Absolutely, especially if you're in this crab field. Now, there's different types of crabs you can catch in the state of Florida.
Gulf crab,
The Gulf crab.
right? There's two types of stone crabs, right? Gulf crab and eastern crab.
Eastern Atlantic.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Now that they pretty much look the same. One's a little bit bigger than the other on average. Some of the cool things about them is the size claws are definitely like we have the blue crabs that most people catch. We have blue crab traps all along both coasts and usually in the backwaters.
So we can get blue crabs and stone crabs here in Florida.
In the state of Florida, absolutely. So obviously the most delectable stone crab runs about, if you go in and buy it, you're looking at about $29 a pound, depending on, and they catch millions of pounds of these a year. Now the blue crabs, when they catch those, that crab is done pretty much not a very good renewable resources. When you eat the crab, you eat the whole crab.
Oh, I gotcha.
Excuse me, claws, crab, and all. Now, if you do,
Did you order pizza?
I ordered. This is Jimmy John's. We know how quick they are.
I think.
Look at that.
I think
Oh,
our
yeah.
guest is trying to stay off camera.
Right.
It's the magic hand.
It's the magic hand.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Thank you, magic hand.
What's that hand that was in the Addams family? Remember that hand?
I wasn't much of an Addams Family person.
Me. That's why I don't know what the hand.
And served in the new Rodney Rogers Outdoors
Hey,
mug.
look at that. Yeah, as soon as I got in there to push the coffee button, it went from, I don't know what I pushed, but it said, really, dude, you just shut me off. It said, no can do, man.
Wouldn't that be great if you have appliances that
Oh, yeah.
real sarcastic? Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Dude, you just turn me off, man. don't
See,
know.
I think the scale in the bathroom should be that.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
We need a sarcastic.
Are you freaking kidding me?
That's a sarcastic.
One at
scale.
a time, please. Things like that.
And one every time you get on, just goes like you just hopped on your cousin's back. You know?
That would. I wonder if they make that just a sarcastic scale.
If they don't,
The thing just starts going tilt, 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 tilt.
if you are going to build that on art, you got to split it with us.
Anyway, stone crab, blue
So-
crab, which tastes better?
Stone crab, hands down.
More expensive, typically. In
Oh, absolutely. Blue crab's you can get for about $9 to $12 a pound, depending on how the harvest year is. Stone crab is about $29 to $35 a pound.
if I go to a place and they're serving all you can eat crab legs, stone crab or blue crab?
No, it'll always be Alaskan snow or
Oh, really?
yeah, it'll never be stone crab.
So because those are the upper.
Absolutely,
Okay.
they're more expensive than lobster. The good thing about the stone crab is it's actually a renewable resource. That one crab will produce many sets of claws. You know, so you're just breaking claws off, you're putting them back in the water.
Which is why they used to only allow you to take one claw, correct?
Exactly, to
So he
defend
had,
themselves.
so he had still had some sort of defense
Exactly, to defend themselves.
to survive for the next time. Yeah.
When you take both crab claws off, you take their chances from about estimations are. I mean, it's hard to keep your eyes on a crab. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So their estimation is anywhere from 22 to 38% survival rate with no claws. With obviously, if you leave one claw, then that chance
Sure.
gets better. So honestly, whatever eats crabs, if they're big enough to eat a stone crab, they're eating that with claws and all.
Yeah. Well, let's start at the top then.
Absolutely. Let's start at the very
Are
top.
we in? Obviously, we're in some sort of stone crab season.
Yes, and that goes from October the 15th to May 15th.
Okay.
So we are deep in the stone crab season.
And that is inclusive of various types of species of crab.
No, that's particularly the stone
That
crab.
is the stone crab season.
That is the stone crab season. Now, the blue crab season is very shaky. If you're out to catch blue crabs, then you need to look at the local laws as well as the state and federal water laws. I mean, it's literally, I couldn't even tell you the season because some of them, and they depend on the odd and even years of where you can put the traps, when the
Interesting.
traps have to be out of the water. It's just that particular, the blue crab trap law is actually mind-boggling. So you have to first look, what county am I in? Am I in Brevard? Am I, Dade? So where am I putting my trap out? And then look at the state and federal waters to see if you're on an odd or even year, to see if your traps are even allowed in the water during that season. And then look at the local laws and say, okay, it's Brevard County, blah, blah, blah. Here's the laws for that, and blam, I'm in good shape.
Okay.
Here's where I can put my traps out. So it's a very shaky one.
Is that the typical way of catching the crabs? I mean,
Yes.
is that the go-to method?
That's one of the best methods. So it's the easiest because you can just set the trap, put your bait in the trap, set the trap out, and we'll talk about the trap here in a second. Set the trap out, and it's called soaking. So you leave it soaked for 4 or 5 days.
Really?
Yeah. Then you go back in 4 or 5 days and you check the trap. It's just that simple. Now, another way we're talking blue crabs. I'm going to talk blue crabs here for a minute. Another way for blue crabs is just to go out on one of the piers, put lights out, and the crabs do one of two things. They'll go right across the bottom. So you have a bottom trap. It's like a triangle, and it goes down to the bottom and it folds open. And then you put chicken
Okay.
right in the middle of it. So
So you're literally trapping them. You
exactly.
you
So
yank it.
Yep. So what happens is every 20 minutes you just pull it up.
Okay.
And
you can't see it, so you're just taking a shot.
So you're just that's why you time yourself.
Because they're probably in there nibbling on the piece of chicken or something.
And they're not going to eat all that chicken, so they'll stay there as long as the chicken's there. So you'll get 3 or 4 crabs, you'll pull it up, and all of a sudden you get 5 crabs. You know you need to pull it up quicker. You need to pull it up every 8 minutes.
Gotcha.
So you kind of time yourself. I mean, how many can I get every 5 minutes? So that's the easiest way to do that. Another way for blue crabs is at nighttime, they'll swim on top of the water right across the surface. So if you have a light, you can see them going around, and you just net them. You just go scoop them up with a net. That's another way for blue crabs. Now there's net sizes, there's trap size, there's all kind of regulations to this. So there again, you got to get your book and go to, and it's actually pretty simple once you read it and see where you're at. You know you're in Brevard County, and you get the book, and it plainly tells you in there, if you are in Brevard, Leon, wherever county you're in, you won't do it in Osceola County. There's no blue crabs in Osceola or Polk County.
Strictly ocean, right?
Saltwater. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Now I see. Here's another catch to it. Blue crabs are actually in that same brackish backwaters. The largest blue crab that I have ever caught was 7 inches, which is huge, a giant. I mean, it's 9 inches from tip to tip, which is a giant blue crab, and I caught that off a fly in fresh brackish water, more fresh than it was salt. We were actually doing some tarpon fishing, fly fishing for some tarpon.
Brackish.
Brackish is a mixture of salt and fresh water.
Okay.
So when it mixes together, it becomes brackish water.
Is that kind of the intercoastal?
Yep, it's right on the edge of the intercoastal where the backwaters are, and then the mangroves. It's more way off the beaten path, and it still has an outlet to the ocean. That's where your snook, your baby snook will spawn. I mean, your snook will spawn, and your tarpon will spawn. Your tarpon.
You don't know where my snook will spawn.
I know where I've seen your snook.
You're my little snook will spawn.
That's a good pet name, man. You my little snook will spawn. So, in those backwaters are where these fish will lay up. So, off the crab note, if you see these backwaters, fish it. You'd be surprised what you're catching in those backwaters.
Wow.
Tarpon is one of them.
So it's saying size limit. There is no size limit on blue crab.
No, there is no size limit. Size limit on a blue crab across the shell. I think it has to be 4 inches or 5, and they can't have eggs. So you have that section pulled up?
Oh yeah, I do. Sorry. I was thinking you could see my section.
No, I can see. I guess there ain't a size limit. There used to be. Okay, see, it's been a while since I fished for blue crabs. Used to be a 4 or 5 inch size limit across the shell.
And then what you just said, look underneath on the asterisk, harvest of egg-bearing crabs is prohibited.
Exactly, which means when you pull them up, the females just are loaded with this big gob of red eggs.
You can see it, huh? Oh, really?
Yeah, it's plain view. You got to let those
put
go.
Those back.
Yeah, you got to get those back in the water. So, switching over to stone crabs, man, this whole crab episode is a little exciting for me. If you've not caught stone crabs in the state of Florida, or you've not done crabs at all, I've never done it in the trap sense of it. Jason really turned me on to something. It just goes back to that old adage I've said a million times. You can be an old fisherman, old dog and new tricks. That's how I relate it to. Doesn't matter how long you fished, you can still, learn a thing or two about a thing or two.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I would have never thought that, the East Coast up this far north, even, in South would have had stone crabs.
Well, walk us through the process then, Rodney. Obviously, the traps he had put out prior to your trip on Sunday.
Yes. So basically, he has.
How did he pick those spots? Obviously, we don't want to divulge his spots, but how did he pick his spots?
Honestly, his spot. The only I'm just not going to divulge his area.
Sure.
But the spots I can divulge, meaning the best place to put a trap. So let's say you got a body of water. You got the Indian River. Let's say we're in the Sebastian area. Very good area. If you get in the backwaters of Sebastian, the mangroves and all that stuff out there, in the water that's not moving as fast as it is in the inlet itself. Now, the good thing about the Indian River, Banana River, that's everywhere. But if you get in the backwaters a little bit, what you're looking for is the signs or post in the water, some kind of structure that's in the water. You can even use your depth finder.
Sure.
Look for just, old rocks and old structure. That's where these stone crabs hem up a little more. They'll get close to the poles because they're full of barnacles and they can pick stuff off, that kind of thing. Sea walls where the oysters are at, these stone crabs love that stuff. So if you can get close to a sign, now you can't put these things in the waterway. You got to keep them off of the main channels. So you can't put traps in the channels because your ropes get tied up in props and stuff like that.
And you're allowed how many traps? 5 traps?
You're allowed 5 traps, recreational traps per person.
Per person on the boat?
Yeah, per person on the boat.
With the license?
With the license,
Yeah.
the fishing license.
Okay.
So if you and I are on a boat, that's why I ordered 10. So whoever fishes with me, we can give them 5 traps and me 5 traps. Otherwise, if I'm by myself, then I have to check my 5 traps.
How many traps did you check on Sunday?
4.
Okay. What was the distance between them? Were they close?
2 of them were kind of close. The other 2 were a bit distance out.
Minutes? I mean, 5 minutes apart?
Less than that. 2 minutes apart. Just a boat idle away.
Okay.
So I'm going to say a couple hundred yards.
Okay.
A couple football fields.
Okay.
Apart. And they were all besides some type of structure. And that's what he's learned. And I did some research on reading because that's the first thing I thought, okay, I want to do this. I just think it's a blast. It's fun more than anything.
When did, kind of like a geocaching, but with live animals on the end.
That's it, man. You hit it right on the head. That's your prize when you open
There
up
you
the
go.
box.
You get a blue crab. So how long ago had he placed these traps?
So he placed these traps last Sunday. So he let these soak for 7 days. So that's an ideal. Actually, that's an ideal time because it's not like these things. And let's talk about traps size, and let's talk about. We can leave it up to 10 days.
Okay. Legally, you can leave it up to 10 days.
Legally, there's no legal amount.
Okay.
This is where your trap comes in. When your trap is built, it can either be all wood, it can be all metal, or all plastic. If it's all metal or all plastic, it has to have a 5.5 inch by 3.5 inch wooden door. That if this buoy is cut off and this trap is lost, that these animals, that door will rot away.
Interesting.
And these animals can get out the door.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't leave these things just trapped in there to die. So
is that where the 10 days comes from? Or is that just
the 10 days comes from, let's say you're allowed to set your trap out 10 days ahead of the start of season.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so that's kind of where the 10 days comes from. So it doesn't give a legal time that you can soak these things. It just depends on you, how long you think your bait will last. I mean, if you think your bait in there will last 3 days, then,
So describe these traps and the functionality of them for me.
Okay, here's how it works. The trap is a 24-inch trap. It's usually 2 by 2 by 2. So it's 2 feet wide, 2 feet high.
I'm picturing like a metal rabbit cage.
Exactly. You pictured it perfect. Now, on each end, there's an entry. It's like a cone.
Okay.
And the cone stretches into the trap about 6 inches.
Okay.
Okay. So, blam. You put the bait right in the center. There's a little door with a center tube, down the middle of the trap. So these things cannot get to that bait unless they go into these 2 holes. Now, once they get inside of these 2 holes, they can't get out. It's not like they can. If it was an octopus, he's in and out. There's no problem.
Right. Yeah.
He can solve this problem. But a crab or a fish can't do that. They just get in and they're in. A lot of them, some of them we found blowfish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's not uncommon to find a blowfish inside of one. So once these things get inside the trap, well, now they're inside the trap. So if you get 10, they stay. If one gets out, it's an absolute miracle. Stone crabs don't swim on the surface like blue crabs. They don't have the paddles on them.
Oh, okay.
The blue crabs have swim paddles. These guys don't have that particular ability to do that. They're a lot heavier crab.
So it's a basic design.
So it's a basic design, and then you have a buoy that comes off of that. Now, excuse me, one of the things you have to have on this trap is your name, your address, all your information on the trap. Don't get it wrong. Not on the buoy, on the trap. That's where your name has to be. Because if that trap is lost or illegal, they need to know whose trap that is. Because they could very well pull it up, check it. And
Okay, so it's underwater. So how is it on the trap?
it's just a tack. It's a tack. What you do is you put your name on it, attack it. It's attached by a metal tag. All your information is on a metal tag.
Okay.
You can have it engraved or whatever will stay underwater, but your name has to be on it.
Okay.
The buoy has to have an R, meaning it's recreational. Your information on the buoy, you can have it up there if you want, but it doesn't suffice to the fact that it has to be attached to the cage. Now, will they do anything? Who knows? You know, it's going to be up to the game warden. He may say, look, don't put that trap back out until your name's back on it. But you don't want to be out there with that thing without a metal, that wooden door. You know, you don't want a series of infractions.
Sure.
Or they may say, look, you're not trying very hard.
Right.
You know, we need you to, you can see the trap right there. So the entry to this is irrelevant. Normally put the bait right in the center and then the holes on each end. And then, of course, the buoy has a rope you can adjust. If you know the water is 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 feet deep or whatever, then you adjust your buoy to be about 2 or 3 feet deeper. That gives you some sway room to your buoy.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
If it's 3 feet, you don't want your 3 feet because it'll pick your trap up and move it on down the road.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And that's what you don't want. I would recommend checking your trap about every 3 or 4 days because what we found is his traps had moved. You know, something had moved with his traps. It could have been water flow. We just came through with that hard rain and wind.
Could even be wake from boats.
Could even be wake from boats. And it moved it into the drive channel. Okay. So at that point, you can kind of get yourself in a pickle. So you want to check them in enough time that if they're in a bad position, you can get them,
Well, let me ask you an obvious question then. What's to keep other people from messing with your traps?
Nothing. It's a misdemeanor if they get inside your traps. It's not really, it's going to happen, honestly. And I'll tell you the biggest problem.
So you could have had crabs in your trap that are not there.
Absolutely.
And the ones you got now are
could have been
recent.
The second round.
Yeah.
That could have been another batch.
So what you're telling me is that I actually don't have to buy traps. Is that what you're trying to get across to me here?
Technically, no. You don't have to buy traps, Mike. There's plenty out there.
I'm a read between the lines kind of guy, Rodney.
There's actually what I did was I got with our buddy Chris from Fired Up Charters, who does the offshore charters. Him and I got to talking this morning, and he goes, "Dude, I got a small boat. I got a Boston whaler.
Because it wouldn't take much. The boat's irrelative.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to get to your trap.
You just need to get to your trap. Now I've done research. I've already done where we could put our traps out, and all we need is my canoe. We'll just hack them up in my canoe.
So my second question then, with that in mind, is obviously you don't want to mess with somebody else's trap because you don't want anybody messing with yours.
Exactly.
But what's the etiquette of why can't I put a trap right next to yours? Or do people do that?
Yeah, they do it. I mean, I've seen it out there. If you do that, then you're subject to get your trap taken, destroyed. You want to be. Yeah.
It turns into a cat and mouse game at that point. Yeah.
It does. And these locals that have run these waters for years, you kind of want to stay on their good side and stay out of their way.
And I suppose it's the chances there, but the fact of the matter is, I would give people the benefit of the doubt that that's not the norm.
Right.
Most people are out there recreationally on their own accord.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's a crab trap. Somebody's got their crab trap done. Move
exactly.
On.
Yeah. Exactly. And, and definitely keep. There's a couple things you want to do with crab traps. You don't want what they call ghost traps floating around. So if your buoy comes loose, which it happens, I've seen them myself. I've seen lobster traps in the same position. We saw them when we went down to the Keys diving. I don't know if you remember seeing that lobster trap just out floating. Or actually it was at the bottom. So it could have been full of lobsters, and then poof, all these lobsters, died in the trap when they come loose. So once the trap has become a ghost trap, then it's a legal trap to take.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if it's not buoyed anymore.
Then it's legal to take. Now, in this case, the name is on it. The name, phone number, all the information.
Telling me.
You just got it with a knife and a snorkel and fin and go out there and cut them all loose and have you some crab.
Look at all these ghost traps.
An interesting fact about this is you cannot check these traps at night. You have to check them during the daytime. So
is that to prevent?
Yeah, that's pretty much
shenanigans.
Yeah, prevent a lot of shenanigans and just a lot of commercial guys will do it. Now, here's a matter of fact: as commercial guys use trap pullers. If you use a trap puller, you're actually considered a commercial vessel, so you have to have a commercial license. So you have to pull these by hand. You have to pull your 5 traps.
Oh, gotcha.
Which 5 traps? What you do?
Yeah.
It's only 5 traps.
It's a good back workout.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
So, I mean, you've seen how we pulled these things up. We just pulled up to the buoy, grabbed the buoy, pulled the rope up, poof, there's a trap.
You open the top.
You open the
Just
top,
grab them,
and shake them out of there, man. And voila, you're in good shape.
Then did you just? It seems fairly straightforward.
Yeah, I mean that's it.
Know what you're doing. Know that you're in a legal place to catch them.
Exactly. Yeah, if you got all those things, on your side, your trap's legal, you're legal.
Was Jason using chicken?
Yeah, Jason was actually using a couple different things: chicken and mullet. He was putting in his trap. He's actually experimenting with a couple different baits.
That'd be
to see what gets the most.
Why not? Yeah.
Because that's the cool thing about it. I mean, you get to play with it. He did he had some locations where he had his traps, and he resulted none. So he moved them and got them a little closer to over here and a little closer to there, closer to some pylons and bridge pylons and the end of a bridge wall. You don't want it close enough to shore that somebody can just reach over the wall and grab it, because they'll check them for sure.
Sure.
So if you don't have to have a buoy if it's tied to if you have a dock,
okay. So you could do that.
Tie it right to your dock. You can do that. You're not allowed. You don't have to have a buoy. So it's just kind of things like that. And if obviously those people that live in that area may or may not know they can do this. I mean, if they don't, whoo.
Does Purina make a crab chow?
That's a good question.
That'd be a good moneymaker, maybe.
That'd be a good crab chow money.
So if you have your crab trap tied to your dock,
yes.
Do you need a fishing license because you're standing on shore?
Yes. Remember, your fishing license is free, but you still got to have it. Remember that you just got to be accounted for. Now, in this case, you're harvesting crabs. So it falls in a little bit different category. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you got to have your fishing license. So, what else about this thing? Your buoy can't be smaller than 6 inches. You have to have your R on there, which stands for recreational. And if the blue crab, anything that's out of season, you got to toss out. Like we pulled up one that had like 5 sheephead in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had 5 sheephead. Fish. So we had to dump those out.
I think that degradable panel is pretty interesting. I wouldn't have thought about that. That's
you know what? I honestly tell you the truth. I learned a lot just from that one trip from him. First of all, I learned that we had stone crabs, this far north up on the East Coast. The second thing I learned is, man, you can catch them just about anywhere. We didn't have one blue crab in the trap, which is awesome because we weren't after blue crabs. Now, if we'd have had blue crabs.
Is that pretty common? To get a mix?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he says the last time they got blues and stones. I love blue crab. If it's season for blue crab and I catch them both, man, we're having a seafood festival.
So you have a bucket full of crab now.
We ate.
You had. Then midday Sunday, sometime you had a bucket full of crab filled with water. I guess, right? You just kept them live.
No. We snap the claws off and put them back in the water immediately.
Oh, because you don't keep the crab.
That's right.
You just keep the claws.
Yep, we just keep the claws. So what it is their claws start to grow every time they molt. All crabs molt. So molting, remember, they have an exoskeleton, meaning their skeleton's on the outside. So every time they molt, they get real soft. So come May will be their molting season, and they may molt 2 or 3 times a year. And then they get real soft. Their shell peels off. They grow a new shell. Here comes the claws. The new claws come out. They'll start out real small, and then they'll get a little bigger. Every time they molt, they get bigger and bigger, and voila. New renewable resource.
So you have a bucket full of claws.
Claws, yeah.
Did you put them on ice right away?
We did. We put them right out of there, straight to the ice.
Okay.
And then from straight to the ice, straight back to the boiling water.
Okay, so let's talk about that because this is the good part.
This is the best part. A couple ways to boil them. Obviously, if you have a favorite seasoning. Now, their favorite seasoning was Old Bay seasoning. Everybody loves Old Bay. I mean, heck, you
standard.
Cook a shoe in Old Bay, man, and that's a
Love
good shoe. That's an awesome boot. We just somebody